Hello, on SME On Point today, the role and future of locally owned Spaza shops has been thrust into the spotlight recently. The country has been hit by a scourge of food poisoning incidents where learners have died while others were hospitalised after consuming food and snacks bought from Spaza shops. The Department of Small Business and Development is encouraging aspirant Spaza shop owners to consider forming cooperatives to do so. It's also calling for applications for its township and rural entrepreneurship program. The Deputy Minister of Small Business and Development, Jane Sithole, is in studio with me today. And we'll also be taking your calls on 011 714 0677 or 0678 or 0679. Please do call us. Mrs. Sithole will be here to answer all your questions. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome to SME On Point. Where we are today, we find ourselves in a very difficult place in the country. You know, that intro that I just read about the number of children that have died should not have happened. The number of children who have been hospitalized have not have happened. And there's been a kind of a tug of war with respect to who and which department is responsible. Previously, the Department of Small Business Development has said that we don't have a license, we don't have the right to monitor what's happening in the Spaza shops. We don't have the licensing. What is the official position about what you can do? At the end of the day, small business Spaza shops are small businesses.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity. First of all, once again, let me pass my sincere condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones. I think it's really a tragedy that has happened, and that has really gripped our country. As the Department of Small Business Development, our role is, of course, to support small businesses, which includes Spaza shops. And we've got a program that encourages South Africans to really take up the space and own businesses like that. And we call them, you know, it could be informal traders, Spaza shops, any, you know, you've highlighted the issue of the township and rural entrepreneurship. And this program has been there. We are actually scaling it up to ensure that, you know, it covers as many those that are willing to enter the ring. Because we must also remember, running a business is not just like, you know, we can help you so far. The rest is also gonna lie with your will. You know, we will help you with those things that you've mentioned. The licensing will help you to make sure that you comply with the health inspectorate. Will make sure that you comply with SARS, the UAF, the laws of this country. So that development will be there. The training will be there. That is why we always talk about the financial and non-financial support, so that, you know, South Africans, while other things are happening, which involves the police, the Department of Home Affairs, the Department of Agriculture, but on the other hand, what we are doing as South Africans is that those premises that we are renting out to other people to do business in, to consider actually owning the building and the stock, not only just being content with receiving rent at the end of the month.
There are a lot of programs that you have as a department. However, where does monitoring come in? So you helped me to start a Spaza shop. I started, I have compliance, I have all the paperwork and the permits needed. However, this unfortunate incident happens at my Spaza shop. At which point do you enter as a department?
We've got what we call a pre and post support. And that is why now we don't just throw you with what we are giving you and leave you there. The post support includes exactly that, especially because research has also shown that after a year or two, most small enterprises die, which means they don't survive. And that is why we continue with the mentorship. That is why we continue with the training after we've supported you with that business. And the pre also includes training, it includes mentorship, it includes to make sure that, you know, you succeed, because we cannot also not just set them up to fail. Especially, I said, running a business doesn't just require you to run a business, it requires a lot. So our post support includes us monitoring what is happening with that business. Is it succeeding? Is it growing? We also don't want small businesses to remain small. Is it growing? Is it hiring more people? Is it, that is part of monitoring, because we must report on that to say from our side, these are the businesses that we've supported, these are the jobs that we've created. And you cannot know that if you're not monitoring to see if that business is growing or it has died. Or
Mr. Sithole, we have callers on the line. As we said, that we are taking calls today from our viewers on 011 714 0677. 0778 or 79. And we do have on the call right now Robert from Randburg. Robert, hello and welcome to SME
Hello.
On Point.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm very well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. You'd like to speak to the minister. What would you like to say?
Yes, my concern is your people stop Spaza jobs. My people don't worry about people who selling scotch, people got caravans who's dirty. If you can go and look in Randburg how dirty the caravans, the people operate. And may also apologize what happened with the people who getting ill and everything who passed away, my condolences. But the problem is the people must do something. Small businesses, cultures. Small business must be all cultures. One is joined there, all of them. And I like to know by your people how you going to operate now with bylaws, because in bylaws you complete the form. You complete the form to be inside the bylaws, and you're getting approved. Where the people getting proofs? You know what the problem is? The problem is people selling papers and everything who can give you the right to selling. Why you people don't stop past paste checkers, fruit and veggies, all that places.
Thank you.
Selling outside.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
Thank you very much.
I think we've got the gist of what Robert is saying about the informal traders who sell food and the permit as well as the bylaws. But before you answer that, let's also go to Patricia, who's from Soweto, and let's hear what Patricia has to say. Patricia, hello, you're through to SME On Point. I have Deputy Minister Jane Sithole with me in studio. What would you like to say to her?
I would like to say, Mina, I'm thinking, into my mind, this me a long way, just itala. Government magavale yonke la mikosi ayivale. And then ukuza kule yamachaza shop. These people azivale zonke. Yeah, if I'm not looking at sender kanjani ama-video, ngibone ukuthi abantu laba abathengi la kustoka khona like aboma-orient what macro.
Manje, Patricia, if you can allow me to... Patricia, I just wanted to ask you a question. I don't think you can hear me.
And I'm sorry to say that maybe if
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You know what?
Thank you so much, Patricia. We've gotten the gist of what Patricia has said, just for translation purposes. Patricia is saying that she wants all the Spaza shops to be closed because they do not buy stock from reputable or known distributors and warehouses, and also those like Orient. She makes an example. She also talks about those that are the miners that are stuck in Stilfontein. She has a view on that. But just of Patricia, what she's saying is that she wants all the Spaza shops to be closed. And I really wanted to pose a question to her about, or what about the Spaza shops that are compliant? Should those be closed as well? But just to close off the calling session, we have Untlantla from Enanda in KZN. Untlantla, welcome to SME On Point. What would you like to share with us? Sabona Put.
No, hi, no. Oh, Deputy Minister, apology, mina ngiyamukela personal. Labantu basiyekelele nabantu babulala ingane bathule abenze lutho. Umungameli uthule silent. Ingane zifa ngapha left and right. Ngeke labantu bahlala basibuka namanje uDeputy Minister igqokile kahle. Labantu kufanele ngaba bagqoka ama-avalon ba outside ba checka yonke into ukuthi kwenzakalani. Ukufanele size sisukume thina siwumphakathi bese kuthiwa sizonophobic. No.
Siyabonga kakhulu Nhlanhla. Deputy Minister Sithole, you've heard, let's start from the bottom, perhaps start with Unhlanhla Enanda, also making reference to the fact that you should be in overalls going out there, and he is not happy with the government response. What's your response to that?
Yeah, we must also remember that it is not the first time in South Africa that learners die from food poisoning. I think now this problem has come a long way, but we are here now, and I always say, from here, what do we do? And I agree with him that this problem has been going on for far too long. The reason we find that space now being oversaturated by other nationals is because the problem has been going on over years. And I also just want to tell him that I was actually in Tembisa, not wearing this dress. I had to come to the studio, so that is my reality in terms of the work and the work that everyone does. So we are in the streets. We are actually talking to the real people that have been affected. And on the other hand, the fact that this has got attention now in this 7th administration, it shows that it's not going to be left until it is resolved. And that is the commitment that we are making, that this time around it's not going to be a reaction of now when this thing is happening and then a retreat when the problem is sort of like subside.
Yeah.
You know, we are going to be on this until a solution is found.
Soweto wants all the Spaza shops closed. She says that if you look at where they stock, we need to know where they stock their goods, saying that they do not stock where everyone else's stocks, and making reference to certain shops. Is it necessarily a good idea for all Spaza shops to be closed?
Look, I really think that South Africans need to know as well that 54% of Spaza shops in South Africa are owned by South Africans. So when you say all Spaza shops must close, it also going to put a lot of families who are depending on those as income and as feeding their families. It's going to affect them severely. So I think our reaction, as much as this is a very painful time for our country, our reaction also needs to be objective. It needs to it needs to come up with solutions that aren't creating problems. And that is why the inspections that have been going on, and I'm sure that South Africans have seen everywhere that, this problem has been tackled from all departments. They've seen the Department of Agriculture in the streets in terms of the chemical that has been identified as illegal, that has been found in the food. We've seen the Department of Police everywhere. We've seen even like retail SETA funding students that have graduated and are unemployed. Fund them to do these inspections to help with the license.
I'd like us to take a quick break, and when we come back from this break, we'll be talking more about the Spaza Shop program, because I want SME On Point viewers to be able to know how they can get hold of the support in case you really want to start your own Spaza Shop, and how the department can help you make that a reality. Plus, how to form a cooperative to be able to start a Spaza shop, as the minister says. And we're also going to get to Robert's answer about street food. We're going to do all of that after this short break. Welcome back. You're still watching SME On Point with me, Diabo Sithole. The role and future of locally owned Spaza shops has been thrust into the spotlight recently, with the country having been hit by a scourge of food poisoning and incidents where learners have died and others have been hospitalised. I've been speaking to the Deputy Minister of Small Business and Development, Ms. Jane Sithole, on a range of issues, and we've also taken calls in the previous, just before the break, and we had Robert, Deputy Minister, who talked about people who sell street food. This is quite a problem for them too, because they make a livelihood out of this. And naturally, I know with myself, as I was saying to you off camera, I enjoy buying street food. But now I've become so much more apprehensive and not trusting, and preferring to rather make my own food at home. And I can imagine how much that hits their pocket as business owners. But there's also a concern about their cleanliness, and also whether the bylaws are being enforced by the municipalities. Where do you enter as the department with regards to safeguarding those jobs, but also making sure that we people who consume these foods are also safe?
Yes, as the department in our program, we actually even help the small traders to where they source their food. We've had informal traders on our streets from the days that we were growing up. Everyone will tell you it's not a new phenomenon in South Africa that our mothers and fathers have brought us up. They've taken us to universities with money that they've been selling magwinya and vegetables in the streets. So the fact that now we are dealing with this painful period in our country, which we are now punishing the person at the end of the food chain, that actually has got nothing to do with the manufacturer that has manufactured the food that might have caused poisoning, as now a lot of information is coming to the forth in terms of what could have been the reason. So at this stage, I will say to South Africans, let's not punish the person that's not the trust that is gone in terms of those food.
Yeah.
You've been buying there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And when we don't support them, because we also talk about supporting small businesses, not only from government side, but if we don't buy from them, we are also affecting a few families then. I think it was Robert who spoke about the caravans that are somewhere.
Yes,
where so when government creates space, what we do is where there are informal traders as well, we create space where they can trade safely. And this we do hand in hand with municipalities. So when we leave them with a caravan that they need to work in, it is up to them to keep it clean
that space
as well.
and that caravan, can it guarantee that the food is safe to consume? Because at the end of the day, that's what is at the center of this.
Guaranteeing that the food is safe is guaranteeing where they source the food. The manufacturers and distributors are the ones that really need to take responsibility in terms of this. And that is why the retail sitter in terms of manufacturing, and that is why even the task team that we've seen involves manufacturers and distributors, because most of this food, as we've seen videos circulating, some are even manufactured at home, where people sleep there, they sell there.
Yeah.
And this has been things that has been happening. So when you walk into a fleet market or a free market where they're selling vegetables and fruits, I've seen a lot of people, and we visit that often as well. In fact, I've seen SABC also interviewing people on the streets that say, no, I trust this food, I've been buying there, I've never had problems.
I want us to spend the next 2 to 3 minutes talking about your idea as a department about how people should start cooperatives and how that can help to resuscitate Spaza shops, as well as the Spaza shop program. How many people have actually come to you and said, we want to start a Spaza shop? How many are still in business as we speak since you started the program?
We've got over 7,000 applications, and so far 2,700 have been processed already, and many of those are being successful, many are starting. We visited one in Linyenye in Tsanin. It was a young person, the one that while we do oversights, as the caller has said, that we also need to get out there and help them to be successful. So we haven't had any failure rate in terms of those that have started.
Okay.
The only thing that we need is we need more people to come forward so that we are, because when a problem like this happens, it requires action, and that action involves South Africans as well. So along that, we are going to be able to see in a few months, few years, if this is really yielding the results that we need as South Africans, not only for Spaza shops, but also to have an inclusive economy that is creating jobs.
Those who are watching us right now and say, I actually want to start a Spaza shop in my community, I'm a young person, they come to the department, what do they need to bring?
What they see that we've got a section, an agency which is Small Enterprise Development Agency that helps with the start from the beginning. They will start you from the beginning. You've got an idea, because most people even have the infrastructure, so say they are handing it out, because there's going to be inspections to look at where you're going to operate that Spaza shop. There's going to be, we're going to help you with the license, we're going to help you with this. So what they need to do is to visit the SEDA website, www.seda.org.za. They will find everything that they need there, and the department will then SEDA will work with them.
We're hoping to see a much more a positive uptake, because we really want to see people starting businesses, particularly here on SME on Point. We are champions of small business owners, and please do take this opportunity and go to the SEDA website and challenge what the minister is saying, and tell us on our Facebook page, which is @SME on Point, your experience of applying for this. Is it easy? Is it difficult. If you've been wondering who I've been speaking to, is the Deputy Minister of Small Business Development, Jane Sithole, who's been in studio with me. We've been talking about resuscitating the Spaza shop industry and the support programs that they have. And as I say, please support small businesses in your communities and let's make those rands and cents circulate.